Let us first see what transfer means. Transfer is a change in job assignment. It may involve a promotion or demotion or no change at all in the status and responsibility. It is viewed as a change in the assignment in which the employee moves from one job to another at the same level of hierarchy, involving similar skills and approximately the same level of responsibility. So it's not it's basically done to meet the organizational requirement, because organization may have to transfer employees due to many reasons, due to changes in technologies, changes in volume of production, production schedule, quality of products, fluctuations in the market conditions like demand fluctuations. So things like these would necessitate that you transfer people. And where do you transfer them? You transfer them to the place where the need is. If the organization is operating in two locations, and in one location a need has arisen where you need more people to carry out the production, then definitely you would be transferring people there. Then it is also done to satisfy the employee needs. Employees may need transfers in order to satisfy their desire to work under a more friendly superior, or they might have some preferences for the region or department in which they would like to work, and if possible that transfer is granted. And transfers are also made to utilize employees better, to utilize the skills and experience and the job employees and the job knowledge could be utilized better by making a transfer. Then we can also look at some other reasons, like to provide relief. Transfers may be made to give relief to the employees who may be overburdened doing a certain job, and also to reduce conflicts. Sometimes transfers are also done to punish employees, as a disciplinary action. And we have heard of employees, government employees, being shifted to some remote, far flung areas, or less lucrative, less attractive areas, in case a sort of disciplinary action has to be initiated against them. So these are the various reasons for which transfer is done. What is important is that organizations should clearly specify their policy regarding transfers. It should not be done arbitrarily. It should not be allowed that any superior is able to transfer their subordinates. Let's say if they don't like them, if they don't get along with them, all this will be avoided when we have a clear cut transfer policy of the company in place. And for a systematic transfer policy, certain things should be kept in mind. First is specification of circumstances under which an employee will be transferred in case of any company initiated transfer. So there are certain circumstances only under which the transfer can be allowed. Secondly, name of the superior who is authorized and responsible to initiate the transfer. Then the region or unit of the organization within which transfers will be administered. Also, the reasons which will be considered for personal transfers have to be specified. Also, reasons for mutual transfer of employees have to be specified. There are various other things like specification of basis for transfer, like job analysis, merit, length of the service. So length of the service means, after how many years can you expect that you can be transferred. It happens, it is in most of the administrative jobs and in bank jobs, these transfers occur more often as compared to some other jobs. Okay, so these are the various things which should be kept in mind while formulating a transfer policy. Promotion refers to upward movement of an employee from current job to another that is higher in pay, responsibility, and organizational level. So promotion is a vertical transfer. It's not horizontal, it's not at the same level. Promotion will mean that the employee is being shifted to a higher level where there is more responsibility, where there is better pay. Promotion brings in enhanced status, better pay, increased responsibility, and better working conditions. Okay. It is slightly different from upgradation, which means elevating the place of the job in the organizational hierarchy. So a better title is given, but in upgradation, maybe maybe it's just a better title and not a better grade. So, in the horizontal movement that we talked about, that was transfer, there was no increase in the pay, there was no increase in the pay scale and authority. Whereas in promotion, there is an increase in pay and there is an increase in authority or status. So there is an inbuilt motivational value. Of course, everybody aspires to be promoted to a higher level, and especially the employees who are good at their work, who are meritorious. They do wish to be promoted to a higher level. Now, what is the basis of promotions? Then different organizations would adopt different bases of promoting people, depending upon the nature and size, etc., of the organization. So generally, there are these two, three types of promotions which can happen. First is the merit based promotion. This occurs when an employee is promoted because of superior performance in the current job. He is an employee who is doing very well, performing very well in the current job. Merit here will denote an individual's knowledge, skills, abilities, and efficiency as measured from his educational qualification, experience, training, and past employment record. There are certain advantages of this system. It motivates the employees to work hard, improve their knowledge, acquire new skills. Okay. Secondly, it helps the employer to focus attention on talented people, recognize them, reward them. It also inspires the other employees to improve their performance because they can see that performance is being rewarded. And like every system, it will have certain shortcomings also, because personal prejudices, biases, union pressures, etc., may come in the way of promoting the best performer. It may become subjective, and past performance may not guarantee future success of an employee. In lot of organizations, we find seniority based promotion. Seniority refers to the length of service in the same organization. So whether you have worked for 10 years or 15 years in the same organization, obviously if you have worked for 15 years, then you are senior to the person who's worked only for 10 years. Promoting an employee who has the longest length of service is often welcomed by the unions because it's objective. It is very easy to measure the length of service in a lot of government organizations. The promotions are time based, depending upon how many years of service you have put in. So you put in 10 years of service, you come to a certain grade. You put in another 5 years of service, you will come to a higher, different grade. Okay, despite these merits, still the system suffers from some limitations, like the biggest one being that the assumption that the employees learn more with the length of service, because the employees may learn up till a certain age and then may not be that good in learning after that. It demotivates the young and the more competent employees, because they can see that the promotion will come only after they have put in those many number of years. There is a third system which is called seniority cum merit policy. In this, promotions compel talent to step out of the firm. A merit based promotion demotivates, like we have seen seniors who remain loyal to their jobs. And seniority based promotions compel the very talented people to step out of the firm in frustration. So both the systems have their failings, and the organization may try to strike a balance, bring in the good features of both. And if you bring in both, then you will look at both merit and seniority by setting some acceptable standards. And once such criteria is accepted, then we are able to give promotions after serving a fixed tenure, and also based on merit. Okay, one more system, it is called open and closed promotion policy. In an open promotion policy, all employees become eligible for promotion as and when the vacancy arises. So everybody is eligible, and based on a predetermined criteria, the most suitable one will be promoted. This is what is an open policy. Everybody is eligible, but only the most suitable will be promoted. And in a closed promotion policies, all employees do not become eligible for promotion automatically, and based on individual judgment and personal observation, management would take a call. Management would decide who are the employees to be promoted to the coveted higher levels of positions.